Piers Morgan resigned from Good Morning Britain after refusing to apologise for not believing Meghan Markle's account of life in the royal family. However, the 57-year-old broadcaster has now questioned why he didn't receive the same solidarity that Gary Lineker recently did for his own situation. Piers moved to Talk TV and started his own talk show, Uncensored, in a bid to show support for freedom of speech. However, Gary Lineker has now returned to Match of the Day after claims that he had broken the BBC's impartiality guidelines with his comments on the government's immigration bill, and colleagues such as Alex Scott opted not to go on air during his suspension to show support for him. When one fan addressed the comparison, and asked, "Were you disappointed that none of your colleagues didn't present the day after you left GMB?" Piers took to Twitter to reply. He answered, in view of his 8.4 million followers, "Would have been nice to see the same solidarity." One source claimed that Piers' comment was a reference to his former GMB colleague Susanna Reid, who returned to the airwaves immediately after the episode, without making a stand for Piers. The source, published in OK! Magazine, alleges that his tweet was a cheeky dig at her. He feels not just the TV executives should have been more supportive, but his co-hosts, including Susanna, should have been, too, they continued. Express.co.uk has contacted representatives for Piers Morgan and Susanna Reid for comment. No one came out and backed him, only his family, no one he worked side by side with. He felt let down. When quizzed about the issue a year ago in Fabulous magazine, Susanna had insisted that the pair had remained friends. "We stay in touch and he's a really important person in my life," she exclaimed, praising their incredible dynamic together. She added, "He really put his imprint on the program and it was very powerful." Susanna recalled the way he'd led arguments on big issues of the time, from feminism and what it means to be a woman, to Brexit and the controversial ex-US President Donald Trump. Describing his attitude to lockdown, the pandemic and holding the government to account, she exclaimed that he was unrivaled at holding their feet to the fire. She concluded, "Then it ended. All presenting gigs come to an end at some point, don't they?" She added that the pair had gone through some really difficult times together as a team. However, according to Piers' comments, he may have felt that Susanna wasn't pulling her weight to support him during those difficult times. In contrast, Gary exclaimed that he'd received an outpouring of love and support after commenting that he believed the government's new measures against immigration were immeasurably cruel. Had argued that the language used about the migrants were similar to that of Nazi Germany in the 1930s, and his comments hurt some who accused him of trivializing the deaths of millions in the Holocaust with his comparison. However, a string of celebrities boycotted the BBC in indignation when they learnt Gary had been suspended. Everyone from Alan Shearer to Alex stood up in support of him, but when Piers spoke out against Meghan Markle, his resignation was met with little public resistance from his team. Meanwhile, Gary was due to present the FA Cup quarter-final coverage for the BBC today, but has pulled out after losing his voice.
lover.